Get ready, because we're diving into a roller coaster story about how US President Donald Trump's stance toward us shifted dramatically, especially during some intense conflicts with Pakistan. From standing with us against terrorism to sparking outrage with his ceasefire claims, and from trade wars to telling Apple to ditch our country, Trump's approach went through some wild changes. We're breaking it all down. His initial support, the fiery backlash from our media, led by Arnab Goswami, his mediation attempts, and how trade fights over tariffs and investments changed his tone toward us. Packed with quotes, reactions, and a full timeline, this is a deep dive into what happened. Let's jump in. Trump's policy and public stance toward us saw notable shifts, especially during times of conflict with Pakistan. In early 2019, a major crisis following the Pulwama terror attack on February 14th and our retaliatory Balakot airstrike tested Trump's diplomacy. Right after Pulwama, where nearly 50 of our soldiers were killed, the Trump administration voiced strong support for our fight against terrorism. On February 22, 2019, Trump acknowledged our anger, saying, "We are looking at something very strong. We just lost almost 50 people." I could understand that. That showed sympathy for our position after the deadly bombing. He also reminded reporters that the US had cut $1.3 billion in aid to Pakistan for not doing enough against terrorism, while claiming a much better relationship with Pakistan now. Early on, Trump leaned toward us diplomatically, condemning the attack and pressuring Pakistan to rein in militants. But he also urged restraint, saying, "It's a terrible thing, a very dangerous situation. We would like to see it stopped." That mix, backing our counterterrorism goals, but warning against escalation, set the tone. By late February, after our Balakot airstrike on February 26th and Pakistan's counterattack the next day, Trump changed his tune. Speaking in Hanoi on February 28th, he announced reasonably decent news from US and Pakistan, saying the US was involved in trying to have them stop the conflict. He added, "I think the conflict is going to end. It has been going on for a long time," and described the US as being in the middle, helping both sides. This suggested the US was brokering peace, but that claim stirred trouble. Trump's self-congratulatory move, announcing a ceasefire before we did, didn't sit well with us. Our media, led by nationalist anchors like Arnab Goswami of Republic TV, erupted in fury. Arnab, a vocal supporter of PM Modi, blasted Trump on live TV in a segment that went viral. "This is typical Trump overreach at a time when he doesn't have a mandate to do so," he thundered, slamming Trump for jumping in without understanding the situation. He argued it wasn't Trump's job to claim a ceasefire when we hadn't even agreed to one. Arnab's rant, where he rejected Trump's meddling and vowed we'd finish this on our own, blew up on social media, even trending among US audiences. Clips spread like wildfire, and our public discourse turned sharply against Trump, painting his ceasefire claim as a diplomatic overstep that favored Pakistan's narrative. The anger was so intense that even many of us who supported both Modi and Trump felt blindsided by his truce announcement. Our media framed Trump's stance as a betrayal of our tough line on Pakistan-sponsored terror. Trump kept pushing mediation, which made things worse. He claimed we and Pakistan had agreed to a ceasefire, taking credit for de-escalation. But our officials were caught off guard, feeling blindsided by Trump's announcement, which came before our own statements. Arnab's Trump overreach tirade on May 10th, after one such claim, captured the backlash perfectly. Critics said Trump was too quick to declare victory and insert himself as a mediator, potentially undermining our leverage over Pakistan. In July 2019, Trump stunned us by claiming during a White House meeting with Pakistan's PM that our PM Modi had asked him to mediate on Kashmir. We flatly denied it, and the statement sparked a political storm. We've always insisted Kashmir is a bilateral issue and any third-party role is off the table. Our government reiterated this, and Modi, alongside Trump at a G7 summit in August 2019, publicly rejected mediation. Trump backtracked, agreeing we and Pakistan could handle it ourselves. That U-turn came after our firm rebuttals and the media backlash. Throughout 2019, Trump flipped between offering to help with tensions and acknowledging our position. He often paired his ceasefire claims with self-praise, like boasting at a rally that we stopped a nuclear war between us and Pakistan, referring to the 2019 standoff, a claim we downplayed. He even suggested trade concessions were part of the deal, saying we offered zero tariffs on U.S. goods during de-escalation talks. We denied any such link, insisting trade was separate from the crisis. Trump's push to play mediator while taking credit for peace frustrated us, as we preferred to handle Pakistan on our own terms. Our media's harsh coverage, especially Arnab's viral tirades, didn't go unnoticed. Reports say the U.S. administration saw the backlash. The anger from Arnab and others showed that many of us, including Modi's base, were furious that Trump seemed to restrain us. This likely pushed Trump to tweak his tone. By August 2019, at the G7 summit, he said Modi feels he has Kashmir under control and called it a bilateral issue, aligning with our wishes. The U.S. State Department also clarified we hadn't requested mediation, smoothing things over. This proved our media and public opinion acted as a check. Trump realized that seeming too friendly with Pakistan or too eager to meddle in Kashmir could cost him our goodwill. After this, he stayed quiet on Kashmir mediation, focusing on bilateral ties during the Howdy Modi rally in September 2019 and his February 2020 visit to our country. While diplomacy was one thing, trade was a battleground. In 2019, Trump was obsessed with cutting U.S. trade deficits and targeted our tariffs. He called us the tariff king, complaining about duties on American products like Harley-Davidson motorcycles and almonds. In June 2019, after we imposed retaliatory tariffs on 28 U.S. goods, Trump tweeted, "We have long had a field day putting tariffs on American products. No longer acceptable." He demanded those unacceptable tariffs be withdrawn, especially since our duties were already very high. That tweet came right before a meeting with Modi, showing the tension. Earlier that month, Trump revoked our preferential trade status under the GSP program, punishing us for what he saw as unfair barriers. Apple's operations with us became a flashpoint too. As Apple expanded iPhone assembly here, Trump wasn't happy. He later revealed he told Apple CEO Tim Cook, "I don't want you building in India. India can take care of themselves." He said the US had tolerated Apple's plants in China for years, but wasn't interested in us now. Instead, he pushed Cook to invest in the US. This bold snub showed how sour trade relations had gotten by 2019-2020. Trump justified it by calling us one of the highest tariff nations, where it's very hard to sell American products. He linked trade talks to the broader geopolitical context, even suggesting our zero tariff offer was tied to the 2019 conflict, a claim we rejected. Throughout 2019, Trump kept hammering us on trade. In another tweet, he said our tariffs were unacceptable and must be withdrawn after we raised duties. He also singled out Apple's issues, saying Cook complained that our tariffs made iPhones too pricey locally, a gripe Trump used to pressure Modi. These trade disputes unfolded alongside our strategic partnership, creating a split. Camaraderie in defense and diplomacy, but clashes in commerce. All this led to a clear shift in Trump's tone toward us. Early on in 2017-2018, he spoke warmly of us, hosting Modi at the White House, praising our development, and sharing a stage at Howdy Modi in 2019. But by late 2019, his remarks got sharper. He paired praise for Modi with blunt critiques of our trade abuses and grew impatient with our policies, from tariffs to data localization rules and defense deals with rivals. The 2019 conflict was a turning point. Trump's initial support gave way to a neutral mediator role, which sparked our backlash and forced him to recalibrate. When we firmly opposed a U.S. role in Kashmir and resisted trade demands, Trump's tone hardened. He reportedly griped privately that we didn't give enough for US help in defusing war. Publicly, he noted Pakistan was thanking the US, while we weren't. Pakistan's praise for Trump's Kashmir engagement likely annoyed us further. By mid-2019 into 2020, Trump's actions showed a tougher line, ending our trade perks, threatening reciprocal tariffs, and urging US firms to invest at home instead of with us. Even as strategic ties like defense deals and the Quad partnership continued, Trump didn't shy away from calling us out when it fit his America First narrative. At the UN in 2019, he criticized our high tariffs alongside China's trade practices, a far cry from the flattery Modi was used to. In summary, Trump's stance toward us went from solidarity to friction. During the Pulwama Balakot crisis, he backed our fight against terror, but pushed US influence to halt escalation, drawing mixed reactions. Our media's fierce criticism, like Arnab's viral broadside, and our political establishment forced Trump to back off from mediation. But the episode, combined with trade disputes, made him more openly critical of our policies. He used tariffs and even US corporate investments to pressure us. While our strategic ties with the US stayed strong, Trump's tone shifted from enthusiastic partnership in 2017 to a transactional, sometimes adversarial approach by 2019-2020. In February 2019, during the Pulwama crisis, Trump condemned the attack and said he understood our need for a very strong response. The US urged Pakistan to act against militants and quietly supported us, but called for restraint. In late February, after the Balakot airstrike, Trump claimed, "We have been involved in diffusing clashes." On February 28th, he announced reasonably decent news that the conflict would end soon, hinting at a ceasefire and US mediation. We were wary of external intervention. In March-April 2019, we quietly ended the crisis after Pakistan released a captured pilot. Trump's boastful ceasefire claims sparked our media. Arnab Goswami called it typical Trump overreach, and his viral clip shifted public discourse, framing Trump as siding with Pakistan by forcing a truce. On July 22, 2019, Trump claimed Modi asked him to mediate Kashmir. We vehemently denied it, and all our parties demanded a retraction. The US State Department clarified we never requested mediation, denting our trust in Trump's tact. In August 2019 at the G7 summit, Modi asserted Kashmir is bilateral, and Trump agreed we and Pakistan could solve it, backing off his offer after our backlash. In summer-fall 2019, after we imposed retaliatory tariffs in June, Trump tweeted our tariffs were unacceptable and ended our GSP trade benefits. In July, he said we've had a field day on trade and it's no longer acceptable. Tensions rose over e-commerce rules and tariffs on electronics and almonds. In late 2019, despite trade issues, Trump attended Howdy Modi in Texas and hosted a massive reception here in February 2020, showing friendship. But trade talks stalled, and Trump pressed Modi on market access and lower duties. In 2020, Trump kept complaining about our tariffs and trade surplus. During COVID-19, when we briefly halted exports of drugs like hydroxychloroquine, Trump hinted at retaliation, saying he spoke strongly to Modi, another transactional move. Trump also told Apple's Tim Cook not to invest further with us. We're not interested in you building in India. They can take care of themselves. This showed his America-centric stance, snubbing our manufacturing ambitions. Overall, Trump's term had highs and lows for us. He started by bolstering us diplomatically against terrorism, but his eagerness to mediate in South Asia and his harsh trade rhetoric led to a cooler tone. Our media's strong reactions, like Arnab's viral critique, and our firm responses stopped Trump from pushing Kashmir mediation after 2019. But on trade, he got louder, pressing us to cut tariffs and warning US companies against investing here. These factors shifted Trump's posture from early camaraderie to a more confrontational, yet still cooperative stance by 2020.